Recording in progress. Hey there. Welcome. If you are joining class today, first of all, congratulations to you. You've made it this far. You've done a great job. Pat on the back. All right. So, yeah, as I always say at the beginning of our classes, sorry, I know I'll be still. As I always say, take care of yourself. You do join in this at your own risk, as you do with any other physical activity that you pursue. And just a reminder that if you are feeling tired, not as rested as you could be, then your edge is going to be different. Your limitation, your capacity may be different than on a good day. So just listen to your body. If you're really stressed under some chronic or difficult stress, or had a really depleted night of sleep last night, then I encourage you to either not push to your maximum in this workout or altogether just do not do this workout right now. Save it for tomorrow or 2 days from now, whenever you feel like you are more rested and more ready. And you can always just go for a good long walk or a short walk. Do some lighter physical activity. They'll still be to your benefit, but also not add to your stress and not add to your exhaustion. All right. So, yeah, it's just about being mindful and realizing that this is a long road and you're going to feel at times, less than your best. And that's okay. Over the long haul, as long as you keep showing up for yourself, you're going to get the benefits of your effort. Yeah. So now for today, I'm just bringing the screen over here so that you can see my little stick figures as we go through what's going to happen in our workout today. As always, we're going to start with some mobility work. All right, at the beginning. And then we're going to quickly move into some plyometrics and sprint interval work. So today we were doing box jumps. Yay! Or for beginners, jumping jacks. Okay, just as good. Then we're going to be moving into kind of our warm up to our heavy weight lifting. And this is also our stability work here, kettlebell swings and some planks. Yeehaw. All right. And then finally, for our heavy work today, we're going to be doing an overhead press with the kettlebell, and we are going to be doing some pistol squats. And then finally, we will end with a few minutes of recovery, stretching, calming down. All right. So without further ado, let us begin. So go ahead and get your mobility ball. We're going to work the mobility ball around our shoulder blades to begin. So what that looks like, I'm going to show you standing up. So my shoulder blade is kind of over here on the side. You can wiggle it around, feel it. We're going to be working the ball around the shoulder blade, so not on it, but around. All right, so we're going to start at the top, and we're going to kind of move the ball down and around, down around the bottom and to the side. So this area for our shoulders. Okay, so we're going to do the right. Then we're going to do the left. So if you want to go ahead and begin, you are welcome to. I'm just going to get my stopwatch going here so that I can keep track of our time. Yeah, so we're beginning now for at least 60 seconds. Start on one side, and you can watch me if you need to for a minute. So I've just got the ball kind of right here in the crux of my shoulder blade, in the soft tissue and muscle there. And I'm just gonna take my time, and there's no real, technique to this. I'm just rolling that soft tissue right around my shoulder blade. And you see I've got my arm across my chest here to allow some space to get in there. So again, I don't want to hit the bone. I just want to get into that nice soft tissue there and just slowly make my way down the inner edge of the shoulder blade and around the bottom and then back. And if you get to a spot where you really feel like a knot or something, Just take a moment, take a deep breath in and exhale out. Last seconds here on this side. Yeah, I always feel some little sensitivity in this area. It's really good. Ooh. Right, and now if you haven't already, go ahead and switch to the other side. So the same thing on the other side of the shoulder blade, starting at the top, inner edge, and then just gently rolling around that bony area, rolling around the soft tissue that surrounds that bony area of the shoulder blade. Again, just giving yourself pause if you need to when you hit a spot that feels really sensitive. And I should have said this already, but FYI, you can do this against the wall. You don't have to do it lying down. And if it's really tender in there, you might try doing it against the wall. Just so you have a little bit more control of how much weight you're putting onto the ball. That way you can modify if you're feeling quite a lot of sensitivity in there. But yeah, this for most of us is gonna feel like a pretty good deep massage. Last seconds on this side. Whew. Yeah. Good one. All right. So then we're gonna set the ball aside and grab hold. I'm gonna take my glasses off because I don't need them. I'm not looking that closely at the screen. Let me put them somewhere where they're not gonna get crushed. It's always a challenge. Ah. All right. For our hips, that's what we're gonna roll next, is our hips. And I like to use the foam roller. You can stick with the mobility doll if you want, but again, we're getting into that hip cuff. We've done this plenty of times before. If you've joined me before, but it's this area, this little area in here that we're rolling. So go ahead and begin one side of the body, 60 seconds here. And again, you just roll up, down, back and forth. And doing whatever feels good, getting into those spaces where you feel some tension. Like to get into the front of the hip a bit. And the back. That glute area. Just hitting the whole lower back and hip, IT band, soft tissue, connective tissue. One big bang when we roll our hip cuff like this. So efficient and so good. Last seconds here. And go ahead and switch to the other side. And 60 seconds on the other side. Enjoy. Anytime you are feeling some stiffness in your hips or your low back, especially if you've had a long day of sitting, this is a really, good thing to do. You can do it at any time. Just remember that after you do the soft tissue work, you want to move the joint. You want to move it in the direction that you're trying to get it moving, so that the work that you've done, the soft tissue work that you've done, actually integrates in and achieves some mobility. All right, there we go. All right, soft tissue work complete. So Now we're gonna do our side plank. We've done this before. Just gonna give you a quick demonstration, and then I am not gonna practice with you after I demonstrate this. So just be aware as we go forward, I'm reserving my energy for my own workout later. And also I wanna make sure that you are hearing me and then going and feeling in your body what's happening rather than trying to mirror me. All right. So quick demonstration, side plank. Elbow and shoulder are aligned. My hand is pressing into the floor. I'm spreading through my fingers and pressing my palm into the floor. I'm squeezing my butt and my inner thighs to press my hips forward. You're gonna reach the top arm up, and then take an inhale. And then as I exhale, or as you exhale, you're gonna take these fingers and thread them underneath you and behind you, rotating the rib cage as much as you can without taking the hips with you. So those hips and butt keep pressing forward, and I'm just rotating the rib cage. Okay, so if you can do 5 of these, I'd like you to do 5. If you can do 1, I'd like you to do 1. If you're brand new to resistance training, then just getting into this side plank and holding it for a few seconds is a good achievement. And then if you can do the threading for 1, that's great. But if you're at the very, very beginning, just practice getting into the side plank here and holding it for a few seconds until you feel some fatigue, and then switch to the other side. All right, for my more advanced, at least some experienced movers, let's get into that side plank and try for at least 2 to 3 rotations, up to 5 if you can. So go ahead, get yourself in position. All right, right or left, doesn't matter, whichever side you're starting. Go ahead, get into your plank. Remember, as you come up, putting that weight on that shoulder, lift up out of the shoulder, press the hips forward, squeeze the buttocks. Keep those hips facing forward. When you're ready to begin, reach your top arm up and go ahead and begin with your rotations. Remembering as you rotate that you want to keep pressing your hips forward, using your glutes and your inner thighs, the squeezing action there to press the hips forward and keep them steady so that just the rib cage is twisting here. And a lot of us are pretty tight up there. So you may find here at least at the beginning that you've got a pretty limited amount of low mobility. That's okay, just be honest. And then once you've completed however many you're doing, your 1 up to 5 sets on your first side, go ahead and switch to the second side. Yeah, as you set up, remember that palm of the hand that's taking weight, broaden the fingers and press into the palm to help you lift up out of your shoulder. Squeeze your butt, squeeze your inner thighs, press your hips forward. Use your breath now. Inhale as you take that top arm up, and then as you thread under, use an exhale, help blow the air out and come into that twist, that rotation. And again, as many as you feel able to without getting overly fatigued here. Right? Good. And once you're complete on the second side, we're going to repeat that series again on each side. So I'm going to give about a 20-second rest here, and then I want you to do it again. This is really good work to stabilize the shoulders, to learn how to engage the glutes and the inner thighs and the low belly. If you haven't been doing it intentionally, I guarantee you are doing some good deep core work here. So the glutes, the inner thighs, and the core are helping to stabilize the body. We're working to stabilize the shoulder joint. So all of this is just a little bit of stability work on top of our mobility to prepare us for adding weight. So let's begin. Again, go ahead, start each side. Coming at least just holding the plank for a few seconds, or getting 1 rotation, or getting up to 5 rotations. And you know what you're capable of doing today. Work towards that point where you feel fatigue, but not past it. And once you've completed this side, go ahead and do the other side. Again, recalling, again, this is about using the inner thighs and the glutes squeezing in and pressing the hips forward to hold the hips nice and steady, drawing that low belly in to support the core of the body, and then just using your breath to, as much as you can, get a rotation in here, big or small, as long as you're honest with how much rotation you can do, that's fine. Okay, wrapping up here. So what's next? Let's get into our sprint intervals, right? You're gonna need either your CrossFit box, if you're using that, or your low step, if you're using that. And if you're a brand new beginner, never done this kind of training before, don't worry, you just stand in place and do your jumps, okay? Box jumps, this is what they look like with the CrossFit box, right? And you decide what height is gonna work for you. So let me say this to begin. We're gonna do 30 seconds of jumps, followed by 60 seconds of rest. We're gonna do that 3 times. So during that 30 seconds of movement, I want you to remember that after this is finished, you get a whole 60 seconds of rest. So I want you to put your all into it, okay? Get that heart rate up, get that blood flowing. This is a sprint interval, so sprint, okay? So again, box jumps, starting on 2 feet, you're just squatting down, sending your weight back, and up. Squeezing the glutes to press the hips forward, down, and up. Squeeze the glutes, and down. Okay, as quickly as you can, knowing that you've got to last at least 30 seconds, so pace yourself accordingly. Same thing if you're using the small box, okay, it's just a boop. Now, if you're not using any box, jumping jacks, okay? If you're a brand new beginner, if you can get 10 seconds of jumping jacks in, I'm happy with that. If you can get up to 30 seconds, that's even better. But aim for 10, and if you can keep going, go. All right, get yourself set up. We're gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I'm watching the clock. You got 60 seconds. I'm sorry, 30 seconds. Going as hard as you can for at least 10 for beginners, 30 for my beyond beginners, and you got about 10 seconds left. And stop. That was actually 30 seconds. Good. So now we get 60 seconds rest. So just rest. You know, stand still, sit down, move kind of gently around, whatever you need to do so that you can rest, catch your breath, and get ready for the next round. All right, that's 25 seconds. You have 35 more seconds of rest. Strong bones, doing this jump work, we're doing it for our bones, we're doing it for our cardiovascular health. These sprint intervals are great for endurance, helping to increase our maximum capacity. All right, guys, get ready. We're getting ready to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. 30 seconds. Jumps. You got this. You got this. Beginners, 10 seconds. You got this. Okay, that was 10 seconds. Got 20 seconds more to go. do it, let's do it. I'm imagining the sound of that boom, that feet hitting the ground, so strong, so good. Come on, you got 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest 60 seconds. Good job. Okay. Yeah, one more round. It's amazing. It's amazing how short a period of time we gain benefit from when we really push ourselves in that short time. So that is the whole intent of these sprint intervals here. And you may have heard me say before, but I began integrating this into my work after hearing from Dr. Stacy Sims. She is an exercise physiologist and nutritionist. She focuses specifically on female performance. And in her work and in her research, she's uncovered that especially for us ladies over 40 and menopause and beyond, heavy lifting and the sprint interval or high intensity interval work is really key if we want to be able to make gains and or maintain our level of strength. So that's why we do this. All right, I've been talking. You got a few more seconds, so let's get ready to start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Beginners get to at least 10 seconds. If you've got 5 seconds more. That was 10 seconds. Now, 20 seconds more. For my moderate to advanced movers, you can do this. Keep going. This is your last round. Put your all into it. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Nice job, you guys. You got it. All right. So take a couple minutes rest. I'm going to get set up to demonstrate our next round. So now we're going to begin adding some weights into our workout. And now that we are done with the jumps, you can take off your shoes. And I really recommend this because without our shoes on, our feet and our ankles can do the work that they were built to do. All these little tiny muscles in our feet and our ankles and up through into our knees that we never ever even think about working. They're what contribute to the stability of our knees, our ankles, and on up. And when we have our shoes on, our shoes kind of take some of that load and take some of that work off of those little muscles. So by going barefoot, it allows those muscles to work, which are really important for us as we age, as we get more prone to losing our balance. And also just the ability to feel the whole foot on the floor, I think adds some stability when we're lifting weights, adds a real sense of stability and felt stability in the body. So this next series, you're going to choose a medium weight, meaning we're going to do 10 kettlebell swings. A medium weight means that you can do those 10 and have another 4 reps in reserve. So you could keep doing it for about 4 more swings without losing your form, okay? So we're going to do 10 kettlebell swings with a medium-sized weight, one in which you could get up to 14 or 15 if you had to without losing your form. Then we're going to do some planks. And for my beginners, you don't need to add weight here, okay? So planks look like this. Let me just show you the whole series. How about that? So the swings, kettlebell swings. For beginners, you're just going to use a light weight for this, all right? But if you're beyond beginner, I want you to shoot for that medium weight for the swings. So to pick up the weight, my feet are hip width apart. I'm spreading through my foot toes. My feet are nice and broad. I'm going to squat down. I'm going to send my weight back, doing a little squat, keeping my back nice and straight to lift the weight and bring it right up here. Now I'm using the motion in my hips and I'm using the power in my glutes to swing this kettlebell. Thrust. It is literally a hip thrust. I'm not squatting down. Of course, I have to bend my knees a little bit as I come down. But the only reason this kettlebell is moving is because I am squeezing my butt. I'm squeezing my inner thighs. I'm drawing my core in and I'm thrusting my hips forward. And it's the power of that thrust that sends this kettlebell forward. Okay. So you're going to do 10 of those. Then you're just going to walk out into your plank. Hands are broad. I am drawing my elbows in and up. I'm rounding my upper back just a little bit, and I'm drawing my core in. Legs are long. I'm lengthening out through my legs. All right, and so then from here, you're going to do 4 to 6. Without torquing. Okay, so notice my hips and my shoulders remain facing towards the ground. So choose a weight that you can move without torquing. Okay, choose a weight that you can move 4 to 6 times and still have about 2 repetitions left in you if you had to do them. Okay, choose a weight that you can keep that form where you saw I'm pressing down through my arms, rounding my upper back a little bit. My legs are long and straight, and I'm not torquing and twisting. So if you cannot shift your weight side to side without remaining stable, then what you need to do is just hold a plank. Straight up, just hold that plank. All right, for about 10 seconds. 5 seconds to 10 seconds. That's the beginner version of this. You can use the weight. Great, that's the next level. So, you ready? So get your weight set up. So again, we're going to start with 10 kettlebell swings, going straight into the plank, doing 4 to 6. That would mean 2 to 3 per side of moving that weight if you're using weight, or just hold that plank for 5 to 10 seconds. All right. So here we go. Get yourself set up with your swings. Again, feet hip width apart. Pull those thighs up and in. Draw that low belly up and in. And sink your weight back. Take a little squat, long spine to lift your weight. And then when you're ready, go ahead and begin with your 10 swings. Thrusting those hips forward, using the power in your glutes. The glutes are squeezing together to push your hips forward, just like you did in that side plank earlier. And it's that momentum of the hips, the pelvis swinging, that is swinging that kettlebell. I'm feeling those feet nice and broad on the floor, legs active. And once you've finished with those 10 weights, take that nice squat with your long back to lower the weight down. And then go ahead and walk out into your plank. So beginners, hold that plank steady 5 to 10 seconds. Those of you using the weight, go ahead and begin to test yourself with that. And you can move slowly with this so that you can really keep your form as you shift your weight side to side. It's not easy shifting your weight side to side and keeping your shoulders and your hips facing the floor. One thing that will help is if you really think about lengthening those legs out of your hips and down into your feet. All right. And then when you're finished, just rest. Starting from now, I'm going to give you guys 60 seconds, and then we're going to do that again. So in this period of time, you can kind of evaluate how that went for you. Determine if you have the right weight. Making sure that you didn't go a little too light. And it's always good to go lighter than heavier if you're unsure, because as you see, as you move through the exercise, you can modify the weight as you need to. So if you need to make some modifications with your weights, now would be a time to do that, being honest about this being a true medium weight for both the swing and for your plank shifts. All right, we got about 10 more seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, get your kettlebell swing going. Get it going, get it thrusting. You got this. Yeah. Big mama. Use that awesome ass that the Lord gave you, that Mother Nature gave you. Swing that kettlebell. And once you've completed your 10 kettlebells, remember how to sit that thing down, do it safely, do it correctly. Do not bend your back forward, bend at the hips, bend at the knees. And then you're immediately moving out into your plank. Long legs, lengthening out of your hips, long arms, lengthening out of your shoulders. Draw your core in, round your low upper back a little bit. Hold that plank or do your shifts. Being real mindful, again, to keep your shoulders and your hips all facing the floor as you shift your weight side to side. Once you've got your 5 to 10 second plank or your 4 to 6 reps in, go ahead, rest. Starting from right now, 60 seconds. Okay, we're gonna do this one more time. So again, you're still really learning about your, about what weight is a medium versus a light versus a heavy, then doing these rounds repetitively at least 2 or 3 times gives you that chance to continue to explore and really determine what your limitation is. So if you're changing the weight every single time we do this, then that's okay, you know, and as you go forward, you'll get faster and quicker and clearer about what your limit is. That being said, with the caveat that we know that every day, every week, our limits change based on our amount of rest, our stress, what we've been eating. So, all right, here we go. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, last round, go. 10 kettlebell swings. Big mama booty, pressing those hips forward, swinging that kettlebell. This is so good. This is such a good compensation, this exercise, for all of the sitting that we do in our society. All right. Once you've completed those 10, remember, safely set that weight down. Work it, walk it out into your plank. Lengthening the legs, lengthening the arms, broad feet, broad hands, strong core to support you as you do this last round of work in your plank. And then come to rest. Give yourself a little pat on the back. I know that was not easy. It's good work. It's really, really good work. If you stopped there, you would have done a really excellent workout today. But we are not stopping there. We are moving forward. So I'm going to demonstrate for you the last exercises that we're doing here. We're going to spend a little time in them. We are going to do a progressive increase of the weight. So the first thing that we're going to do is an overhead press. Okay, so you're going to start with a kettlebell that is light. So you're going to be able to do light, meaning you can do 10 overhead presses. We're going to do a single arm overhead press. You can do 10, and if you had to, still do 7 more. And this be really still, you still be able to keep your form. So we're going with a really lightweight to begin with. So for my beginners, that means like 2 pounds, maybe, okay? For my more advanced movers, that might mean anywhere from 5 to 10 pounds, 12 pounds. All right, for the ladies. Guys, be honest, That's all I'll say about that. Be honest with yourself. We're gonna get to that heavy round. So you're gonna start just the same as we did with the swings. And this actually does start as a swing, but just a single arm swing. So it's just a clean up. So I'm using the thrust of the hips to bring that kettlebell up and into my shoulder. I'm bringing and I got the elbow right in against my rib cage. So again, it's just a thrust. We call that a clean, okay? If you've never done this before, then give yourself a shot to just try this portion a couple times with both arms. And again, it's that thrust of the hips that's moving the weight up. And then I'm just bending my elbow and bringing my hand into my shoulder to bring in the weight. So then the press, feet width apart again. Legs are nice and strong, drawing the thighs in, drawing the low belly in, feeling the rib cage lift up, feeling it lift up from the back here. And for a lot of people, like to keep their opposite arm out here, just as a counterbalance. And then it's a real simple press up and down and up and down. And see, I'm keeping the elbow in here rather than taking it out. Now this is another whole nother form of shoulder press. This one's going to allow us to use a little heavier weight, keeping that elbow in close, okay? Because it allows you to send more of that weight down into the leg, and the leg helps support you here, right? So we're going to start with 10 on the right, and then 10 on the left. And I'm going to give you about 20 seconds in between each side, just so that you can let your shoulders, your core fully rest before you move into that second side, all right? So choose a light weight. Again, we're gonna do 10 reps, and I want you to still be able to have 6 or 7 in reserve that you could do without losing your form. So when you're ready, go ahead and pick up that weight. Try that clean, bring it out, thrust in the hips, bringing it up into the shoulder. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go ahead and press 10 reps. Again, you're just sending your weight down into both feet as you press that arm up overhead, bringing that elbow right back into the rib cage as you come down. As you press up, feel that lengthening in the back of the body, the lengthening in the back of the rib cage, lifting up away from your feet to help support you so you're engaging your back. What's happening here is you're working your upper back and you're working your shoulder and you're working your triceps all together in one. So once you finish all 10 of those, then you can go ahead and just gently squat down and set that weight down. And I'm going to count from now another 15 seconds of rest. Then you're going to move to the other side. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now pick up that weight with the opposite hand, the left hand, clean it up into the shoulder. And then go ahead and begin your overhead press. 10 on this side. Again, spread through the feet, gently lift the thighs a little bit. Keep using that core to lift up from the lower belly as you press up, press that weight up and over your head. Really practicing your form here when it's easy with this light weight, so that your body gets into this habit so that you can repeat it once you get into the heavier weights. And then once you're done with those 10 presses, again, take your nice little squat down to drop the weight down. And from this point right here, I'm going to give you 60 seconds. And then we're going to move into a little bit heavier weight. So this is a medium weight. Okay. So this is a weight in which you can do 8 presses and still have about 4 in reserve. All right. So you can do 8 presses and know that if you had to do 4 more, you could do it without losing your form. If you have to grunt, if you have to, that's okay. but you can hold that good form in the body, that good posture. So go ahead and get set up with that weight. We've got about 20 more seconds. And then we're gonna do both sides with the medium weight. 10 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead with the right side. Clean that weight up into the shoulder. Get your elbow squeezing in before you get started with your press. When you're ready, go ahead and begin doing 8 repetitions this time with the medium weight. Again, concentrating on the support coming up from the feet, through the thighs, through the core, up into the back of your rib cage where you're lengthening. Feeling that shoulder come down away from the ear as you lift your arm up. And then after those 8, gently set your weight down, take a nice squat to let the weight come down. And from here, 20 seconds. 5 seconds. And that's 15. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin on the other side. 8 repetitions now on the other side. Again, focusing on that form, taking your time, using your breath, using a little grunt if you need to. It's okay. And once you have finished that round, those 8, responsibly set your weight down. And we're going to take another 60 seconds from here. So now we're moving into our heavyweight round. We're going to do this 2 times. So this is our, what we call our 5-rep maximum. So you're going to be working with a weight that you can do 5 reps with and still have about 2 repetitions left that you could do and maintain form. All right. So we're not reaching all the way to failure, but we're getting pretty close. So this should feel heavy. Okay. Don't be afraid to lift heavy, but just pay attention. Now you've done a light, you've done a medium weight. So you've got a good sense of what the next level is. It's probably something like anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds heavier than what you just did. Maybe 10 if you weren't being as honest with that medium weight. All right. But go ahead and get set up with the heavy weight that you're going to use. We've got about 15 more seconds of rest here. So take that time to just rest. Let your arms relax, let your shoulders relax. And now in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and get that weight up. Use your thrust of the hips to clean it up, getting it right into the shoulder, elbow into the rib cage. And as you press it up for these 5 repetitions, you can begin anytime. Imagine as you press up, you're pressing down into your feet. All right, so your gravity supporting you here. You're pressing down into your feet and up with that weight, using the strength of your core, using a little grunt grit if you need to get those 5 repetitions in. And then take your time as you set that weight down. And we're actually going to take a 30-second rest before we move into the other side. So now that's 25 seconds. 20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And clean that weight up into your shoulder on the opposite side. Get yourself set up sturdy and strong and begin your 5 presses on this opposite side. Great job. Once you're done, drop that weight down. Now we're gonna take a full 2 minutes of rest. All right, full 2 minutes of rest. And you can take more rest than that even. And one thing that I do encourage you to do, I mean, I'm keeping time for you here, but obviously I'm not in the room with you, may not be even doing this at the same time as you. So one thing that would be helpful would be to have a timer in front of you. I use, when I'm doing my own workout, I use my clock, my watch, or I use my phone. The phone is nice because you can put your display on so that it never, never goes black. And you can just watch that stopwatch on your phone. So you can always have a backup to me, is what I'm saying, to keep your time. And you can always choose to rest longer than the time that I'm giving. 3 minutes, 4 minutes, even in between rounds, especially these heavy rounds, is absolutely something that exercise physiologists, scientists recommend. Okay. Because the whole point here is, one, not to get injured, but two, to really be able to genuinely lift towards your maximum. And having that rest and that recovery period is really important so that your body can actually genuinely experience lifting a heavy weight. When you're doing a lot of reps really fast, your ability to lift a heavy weight diminishes very quickly. So that is why we take our time for these heavy rounds. It's more important that we actually get the benefit of the heavy weight of lifting that and that weight breaking down our muscles so they can rebuild. It's more important that we have that experience than that we just move through this really fast. So yeah, about 1 more minute. And we're going to do this one more time. And then we're moving into our squats. Our final bang for the day. And know that it's always completely okay to sit down, lie down. Make a little pace around your house, wherever you're working out, whatever you need to do just to rest, calm down, to let the heart rate come down. All right, 20 seconds. Sorry, that's 25 seconds. 20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. And here we go, last round of presses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Starting with your first side. Get that weight up, clean it into the shoulder, elbow in, feet strong, thigh strong, core strong, and begin. 5 more presses if you can do it. Look, if you max out at 3, that's okay too. Point is that you're lifting heavy. And then once you're finished with this side, easily drop that weight down, okay? And 30 seconds. And we got 1 more side to do. Okay, 15 seconds. You can do this, you got it. And ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round, last side. Get it going, get it going. 5 repetitions. And if you wound up maxing out at 2 or 3, that's okay. That means you're really testing how much weight you can carry and you still gain benefit from that, y'all. The point here is to be bold, smartly bold. Once you've finished this round, again, squat it down, long back, drop that weight down. Your shoulders, your back, your triceps, your core, your thighs, your butt, everything thanks you for what you just did. Okay. It all thanks you, and it will be stronger next time. So the last thing we're gonna do in this workout are the pistol squats. So I'm just gonna use this weight that's right in front of me. So same concept here. We're going light, medium, heavy, right? Typically, our legs can carry more weight than a single arm. So keep that in mind. Again, beginners, it's okay to just start with a lightweight and stick with a lightweight on these. It's also okay to do it with no weight for squats. And in fact, if you're a true beginner, I would suggest doing these with no weight to begin, okay? So, same thing, squatting down, keeping my back nice and long, sitting my butt and my weight all back into my heels, squeezing my glutes to bring this thing up. And then I'm just gonna clean it up here. Same position as we were just using. My feet are at hip width, maybe a tiny little bit more than hip width apart, all right? I'm broadening through my feet. I'm holding this weight in close to my chest, drawing my low belly in, rounding a little bit through the up to the back of my rib cage, feeling that length in my back. And then I'm just gonna squat. And I'm sending my weight into the heels, and I'm pressing down into my heels and squeezing my glutes, squeezing my thighs to come up. Weight back. So see, my tailbone is going back behind me and sending my weight into my heels, pressing down into my heels, come up. By the time I'm up, my weight is equally over the ball of the foot and the heel. So you might even take some time right now just to get into this stance and just move your weight around. Move it back, move it forward, side and side until you feel what it's like to kind of stand with equal weight in the ball of the foot. You see I'm lifting and spreading my toes even so I can really feel that, and your heel. So that you know the difference, so that when you sit back, you really should feel all that weight moving into the heels, and you're pushing down into the heels, pressing the hips forward, and then bringing your weight center. Okay, so that's the squat. So for the light round, we're going to attempt 12 squats, knowing that you could do 20 if you had to. So very lightweight or no weight, like I said. And even if you're not a beginner, your first round may be no weight at all. That's totally fine. So we're going to do 12 repetitions in this first round. Rest 60 seconds. Then we're going to move to a medium weight, which means you're going to do 8 to 10 repetitions with a weight in which you could do at least 4 more if you had to, okay, without losing your form. That's your medium weight. Then we're going to rest another, probably more like 90 seconds for this. Before we move into our last 2 rounds using the heavy weight, and that is, again, I want you to do, when we get to the heavy weight, if you're using weight, again, beginners, just do this without weight, doing as many squats as you can until you reach fatigue, and then stopping. And knowing that each round you do, you're probably gonna be able to do a few less squats than before, all right? So with that last round, if you're using weight, it needs to be something that's heavy enough that you can do 5 squats in good form and have only about 2 left in you. So not total failure that we're reaching, but getting up there, edging up close, okay? So I'm gonna give you just a little bit more time to rest. Let's take another 30 seconds here. Let you think about the weight you're gonna use. And again, like I say, anybody, wherever you are, whether you're a beginner or not in resistance training, is completely fine to start this with no weight. All right, so here we go, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get yourself set up, feet nice and spread, hip width apart. Feel that form kick in before you begin with your 12 squats. Sending your weight back. Go ahead when you're ready. Sending your weight back, your hips back. Feeling that weight press down into the heels as you lift up. Feeling those, again, those glutes and those inner thighs coming, squeezing together as you come to the top. Keeping that core engaged. And you know, if you're not using weight, you can put your hands wherever, hips. You can cross them over your chest. Leave them at your side, whatever you need to do. And once you've completed those 12 squats, then I'm going to give you, starting from right now, 60 seconds rest. 60 seconds, and then you're going to move, if you're using weight, move to your medium weight. So this is 8 to 10 squats now, with about 4 more in reserve. Giving yourself a good rest here. And you hear my brother Max Hemphill coming in, so you may see him marching past the camera. Never mind him. He's always trying to steal the show. All right, that's 15 more seconds. 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now going into your medium weighted round for 8 to 10 squats. Watch your form, watch your breath. Going as slowly as you need to really feel that you are using your core, using your glutes, being mindful of letting your weight slip back into your heels as you sit back. And then once you've got your 8 to 10 in, take one final squat to set that weight down. And then let's rest. Let's take a 90-second rest here. So it just occurred to me that I don't think I said this, and most of you probably already know this, but I just want to make sure you know that never, ever, 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 ever round your back when you're squatting and lifting weight. Okay, when you're lifting weight, period, don't round your back. It's a forward fold that's happening at the hip. It's a bend in the knee to lift that weight to come up. All right, placing that kind of strain on the back when you bend the spine is a really good way to ask for an injury. So don't do it. And if you need to film yourself while you're doing squats too, just to make sure you're doing it right, that is always an excellent way to do a little self-evaluation. Okay, I do it. Yeah, just a little heads up suggestion there. All right, we're almost at the end of that 90 seconds. So here we go. We're moving into the heavy round. So I'm gonna give you 15 more seconds. So get your weight set up, get your feet set up on either side of your weight, get those feet engaged, thighs engaged, core engaged, and in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Use your 5 repetitions with your heavy weight. Sound, breath, grunting. It's okay if you feel your knees kind of quivering just a little bit. It's okay as long as you haven't hit failure. Okay, if you hit failure, stop. Not go to that 5 round. And then you're gonna take one final squat just to boom, drop that weight. Good. So take 2 minutes rest. Got one more heavyweight round and then we are done. Hey, Maxie. Teaching my class. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Tim Hill's been at his chair fitness class with his buddies. It's an inclusive, adults with disabilities, inclusive recreation program that our city Parks and Rec runs. It's really awesome that they do this. And Max goes for the social aspect mostly, but it's good to get his body moving a little bit. I think the part he likes the best is when it's over and they can play some basketball. All right, guys. So we're getting close here to our 2-minute mark. 30 more seconds. 20 seconds. Go ahead and start to get yourself in position. 10 seconds. Take a deep breath in and out. Here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round, last set. Get these last round of squats in. Take good form, take good care. It's okay to push right up to your limit. That's the whole goal here without going past it. Nice work. Nice work, nice work. Yeah. So just shake it up a little bit. Shake your leg. Shake your arms. Shake your body around a little bit. Yeah, because our nervous system really takes a lot on when we're doing that heavy weight. Yeah. It's a mental thing. It's a mental exercise. It takes attention, it takes focus, it takes some courage. So yeah, so that's why this recovery part is important. So when you're ready, go ahead and follow me in this quick recovery exercise. So you're just gonna come down onto your knees, step 1 foot forward so that you're in this lunge. The foot that is forward is just underneath my knee, and my hips are right over the standing knee. Okay, and you can either tuck your toes under or keep your foot flat if it hurts. Keep your toes tucked under. But from here, I'm just gonna take a little stretch. I'm gonna move this kettlebell out of the way. So if you can reach your hands forward, you're gonna reach them to the floor and extend, lengthen this front leg out through the heel. Now, if you need to put something here, you can even use weights, kettlebell weights, blocks, pillow, whatever you need, soup cans, whatever you need to place so that you can reach down and lengthen through this front leg. So you want to keep your hips square here. So you want to twist your hips one way or the other. Hips are squared. A little bit of bend in this front knee here. And I'm lengthening out through the heel. So you can see I'm kind of pulling my foot back, flexing my ankle here. And you can take just a couple of breaths here to try to keep the spine long. Feel the tailbone, your butt bone reaching back behind you as your leg is reaching out in front through the heel. And then on an exhale, just round the upper back, let your head fall forward, let your back fall forward over that front leg. And again, you just want to keep your hips squared so that you're not pulling your front hip forward. Just keeping your hips right over that standing knee. Just taking a moment here to get a nice stretch in the back of the leg and the buttocks. You probably might feel it getting into the glute a little bit. You want to keep just gently reaching your tailbone, your butt bone back behind you as you lengthen out through that front heel. So you're lengthening in two directions, forward and backwards. And then make your way out of this. You just bend into that front knee, coming into a deeper lunge here, and then step that front foot back. Then we're gonna switch sides, okay? So opposite foot forward, knee and ankle in alignment, hips right over that back knee, okay, not in front of, right over on top of it. And then when you're ready, raise your hands down to the floor or to whatever is supporting you, and then lengthen that front foot out. Again, squaring the hips, lengthening out through that heel bone, and lengthening out behind you through your tailbone, your butt bone. And just take a breath here to try to lengthen through the back, lengthen through the spine. And then on an exhale, just let yourself fold forward. Let your head go like the way your head goes. Just use your breath here to support you in this stretch. And then start to make your way out of it, maybe bending into that front knee, taking that deep lunge. Great step back. And then last second here, you're gonna take that twist that I've shown you before. So on your back, let your left leg be long, bring your right knee in, just kind of gently towards your stomach. And then take that right knee over and across the body. And if you need to place a pillow under this knee so that you are supported, if if you don't quite have the ability to bring it all the way over to the floor, that's okay. Put something underneath the knee and bring the floor up to you. But once you get into this twist, you can just extend that right arm out to the right. Keep that left hand on your left thigh just so that you kind of keep it drawn so that that thigh stays parallel with the hip at a 90-degree angle here. And then if you can, just look over to the right and just take some breaths here. Allowing your inhale to move into the spaces that are tight and your exhale to invite those spaces to just relax, soften a little more. Let gravity take over the work here. Okay. And then just gently bring that knee back to the center. And then extend both legs long. Take a moment with both legs long, just lying on your back here. And then draw that left knee in, drawing it in toward your chest, toward your stomach, just gently. And then take it across the body, keeping that knee and hip in line. Okay. And then, oh, this is always my tighter side. And extend that left arm over to the side. If you cannot, if your arm is like hanging out here in space, not resting on the floor, the one that's long, bend the elbow and tuck that hand behind your low back. Okay, kind of behind your hips. Try to tuck it under there. Still get just as much good stretch here without overstretching the shoulder. Again, just use your breath, inhaling into the spaces that feel tight, and as you exhale, just invite them to soften a little more. Remind yourself, your body, that gravity's got you now. You don't have to do the work. And feel that tension slowly rolling out of the body down into the earth. And then Last breath here. Bring that knee back center. And then just lie on your back with both legs long. Stretch your arms out, let your legs be as wide as feels good. And I encourage you to just spend a couple minutes here at least. Eyes closed, just breathing. All right, if you've got the time, spend 10 minutes here, even. But you've worked really hard, so give yourself time now to relax, let your nervous system kind of calm down. Okay, before you go and move into whatever is left for you to conquer today. Yeah, or tomorrow. So with that, I'm gonna leave you. Great work again, and I will see you next Monday.